Hey everyone, I am back with another video and I'm excited to do another viewer requested video. Those are my favorite because I know that there's at least one person out there who's actually interested in seeing this, and I know there's more than one, but it means a little more to me when I can make it a little more personal. So anyway, I'm going to break this up into two videos. This is the first in a two-parter, and these are my favorite face brushes. I'm also trying to appeal to some of you who have been requesting some shorter videos, so hopefully I can keep my babbling to a minimum and get right to the point. So without further ado, in the order that I use them, these are my favorite face brushes. I will qualify that these are not all of the brushes that I use, but for the most part, sorry, I feel like I have a hair on my face. Anyway, these are the ones that I use every single day without fail. And I'm looking, there's only 3 or 4 other ones, and you know what, I'll just get right to it. Okay, so if I can remember where I got them from, I will tell you so that you can purchase them yourselves. This is the brush that I use every day lately for months now. It's the Real Techniques Stippling Brush by Samantha Chapman, and they're all gonna be dirty because I just used them all to put on my face. So it's a synthetic brush, duo fiber, has a nice little rubber, dirty bottom, because like I said, I use them. It is flat so that you can rest it on a table, but I don't do that personally. So what I do is I just pump my foundation on the back of my hand, dot, 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 and then kind of stipple it, get an even finish, and then swirl it around a little bit. And I just feel like I use this with my Estee Lauder Double Wear. I've used it with a few other foundations, and I'm always very, very happy with the finish. Sometimes I mix it up a little bit, and I also use, and this you can buy on its own. I can't remember the price, but I think it's under $10 or right around $10. This is part of a set, and I do like all the brushes in the set, but they're more specialty items, and this is the one I reach for again every day. If I feel like for whatever reason, the humidity, what weird shape my skin is in that day, that my foundation just isn't finishing right, I will reach for this, which is part of the Samantha Chapman Real Techniques Essential Face Set or something like that. And this one is called, they all have names, the Buffing Brush. Can you see that? I don't know if that's gonna work, but it's in that general vicinity. And I'll sometimes just kind of buff in and give it just a little extra finish, or what I've lately been doing is I do a very thin layer of Estee Lauder Double Wear, and then I take NARS Sheer Glow, which I just purchased about a week ago. I've been using a sample for the last month and a half, and I shake up the bottle with my hand on the open top, shake it up, and then just dot, 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 very thin layer, and then buff that in with this. I like the finish. I know it's crazy, it's what I do. So love this for that. Then, I will say my favorite tool for concealer are these, or these, ring finger, pat on, pat, 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 pat. But sometimes, for whatever reason, not to gross y'all out, but especially if there's, let's just say, texture to the blemish that I'm trying to conceal, a fluffy brush seems to work best. And what I use is the old Sigma SS224. I know it has another name now, but it's the, you know, the MAC knockoff of the 224, and any fluffy brush will work really. And I don't really use it for this area so much anymore. I really just kind of save it for any areas that, for whatever reason, if there's some texture, this seems to get the coverage a little better, or if it's a larger area, it'll diffuse the coverage a little bit more over a larger area. Yeah, okay. Then I set my powder with 2 things. I usually take a big powder puff and just gently pat it in 4, 5 spots, each cheek, forehead, chin, nose. And then I take this big, fluffy, very soft brush that's filthy, and it's by Sonia Kashuk, which you can't see because it's covered in concealer. And then I just kind of knock off the loose powder and put it all around my face. I think my kids just walked in from football practice. Yes, they did. I shall return. Okay, back. Sorry about that. Okay, so where were we? We just finished setting. Okay, Sonia Kashuk. Next, Lately, I mentioned maybe in my August favorites, I've been doing, I've been using the Faux Tan Matte by Bare Essentials. I like this brush for putting on bronzer, even if it's a powder, like a pressed bronzer. But I like this also for loose. This was part of a set at Walmart. It has no name. That is the beauty of Walmart. There's no name. So it makes it really hard to find stuff, but that's what keeps prices down, the no names. But this is in a set, I think it's called like the mineral brush set. It's short as compared to, say, a normal length eye brush. So it's short and stubby. And duo fiber again. And I just swirl it around, and then I don't contour with this, although I guess you could. I just do kind of like the big sweep around the forehead, sweep around the cheeks, jawline, down the nose, just kind of to warm up the whole, oh that's cute, just to warm up the whole face. And I really like this brush. It's very soft, it's very easy to clean. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, next on the date, this seems like a lot to go through. It takes longer to talk about it than to just do it. I've mentioned this brush many times. It is the angled, it's like an angled powder blush, angled powder brush or angled blush brush. Again, it's from the Walmart collection. I think this is, I'm almost 100% positive that I did not buy this in a set. It's by itself. And I'll get close so you can just kind of see what it looks like. So when you go to Walmart, I think you can buy this online. It's like $6 or $5. And I use this for contour. And I'll just show you really quickly. I just did it this morning. I use the NYX blush in Taupe. Hit pan on that sucker. And I just dip it in, and then here's a quick little tutorial. For contouring, I tilt my head down a little bit when I can really see the line. And I just follow that and kind of buff it up a little. Okay. Then I bought this at the CCO, but you can get it at Kohl's. It's just a flat topped brush. Just a flat top powder brush. It's by the line Flirt. They call it a blush brush. Again, filthy. Here it is. By the Flirt collection in Kohl's. I got this at the CCO. I have no idea what it was doing there. I love it because it's a small flathead brush, and I use it for my highlighter, and I just stamp it on. Sorry, I'm looking beyond you to see that I'm putting it in the right place. I just stamp it on my cheekbones and kind of go up into my eyebrow. I know that sounds weird, but that's how I do it. A little down the nose, swirl her a little between the eyes, a little on my Cupid's bow. And that's that. And lastly, I do my blush. And again, this is Sonia Kashuk. It's the 02 blush brush, and I like it because it's tapered. I don't know if you can see, but it's tapered and it's kind of flat and pinched. So it's just a very versatile, you can dab it, you can do a lot with this brush. You can, pinpoint exactly where you want your color. Now, if you want a little bit of a diffused blush, I alternate between using this one, and then if I just want a wash of color on my cheeks, this was another no-name brand at my grocery store, H-E-B, and I just want to show you the shape. I don't think this is anything special. I like the shape. It's a wide head. Some would even say it's a powder brush, and looks like that. And I just use I just kind of wash it across my cheeks. And then, two left. Just to kind of blend the whole mess together and make sure there aren't any lines, I use the kabuki brush, and the brush that I've been using, I keep hearing little feet. The brush I've been using, I don't even think you can get in the United States anymore. It was like clearance at Ulta about a year or so ago. It's by Bourjois, and it's just a very dense, it's not even particularly soft, but it's very dense kabuki brush, and I just swirl it kind of all the way around just to kind of blend everything together. And then so any kabuki brush would work. And then lastly, again, this is e.l.f, the e.l.f. complexion brush. It's a big powder brush, it's flat, and I use this. Sometimes I use it just for powder or bronzer, but lately I've been using using it in conjunction with the e.l.f. Golden Bronzer. And I swirl this through all 4 colors and then just kind of sweep it again all over my face just to tie everything together and give it a little glow. I know this is a lot of layers. I know this sounds a little insane. I can promise you my routine takes under 7 minutes to do my eyes and my face like this, but these are my favorite brushes. I do have some brushes I'm interested in trying, but until these aren't useful to me anymore, I just don't see the point. Everything I have works great. Yes, there's some more Real Techniques face brushes that I'm interested in, the kabuki brush, the big powder blush brush, but I already have that, so it's kind of silly for me to keep buying it. There is one brush that everybody swears they love. I just want to, it's kind of a fail, although I still use it. It's the Sephora Professional 55 airbrush. And let me tell you why it's sort of a fail. First of all, that. Before I even washed it. Yes, I know I can take it back to Sephora. I don't have the receipt anymore, although I guess it's kind of obvious that it's a Sephora brush since the name is on the handle. But it was really expensive, and it doesn't work very well with Estee Lauder foundation, which I bought this because everyone swore it was great for an airbrushed finish. You know what this is? I use this brush for. I force myself to use it because I spent so much on it. And yes, it's soft. It's very soft. If I want a denser coverage, like if I had the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Natural, this would be a good brush for putting that on. Or any kind of powder foundation, I think this would be great. Like I said, this didn't work well for me with the Estee Lauder foundation. I haven't really tried it with any other liquid foundation. If I want a little extra coverage with my loose powder, I use this brush to really pack it on. So it does have its uses, and it is a good brush, but there are so many wonderful brushes out there that are so much less expensive than this that I'm just hesitant to tell you to go out and get it. In fact, I wouldn't. I would say if none of these other brushes work for you and you feel like you must spend the money, go ahead. Or if you just like collecting brushes, this is great. But like there's just so many great inexpensive alternatives, it's really hard to justify getting this brush. So I know some of you are going to disagree. I know Michelle 1218 is probably like ripping out her hair listening to me, but that's why we love each other. We can agree to disagree. Anyway, those are my favorite face brushes. I have a sick feeling this was not short at all. I'm sorry about that. And my next video in this series will be my favorite eye brushes. So I hope this was helpful. As always, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or you just want to tell me where to go, as long as you're nice about it, put it in the comments below and I'll get back to you. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.